kids have to realize those are the things that when you go outside and you're getting recruited, that's the first thing they see. How does he get off the bus? Is his shirt tucked in? How's he wearing his hat? How's he talking to his teammates? How's he reacting when his mom comes over, when his dad comes over, after his buddy gets a hit? Is he the first one giving high fives, or is he sitting in the back hoping everybody gives him a high five? Like, those are the things that coaches want. Like, that's the stuff that we're trying to teach the kids. Like, it's not all about you. It's about everybody. And in return, you're going to get a lot more out of it. If you're that guy that's not giving high fives, but you're expecting high fives, well, if you hit a home run and no one high fives you, guess what? You have a problem. And all the coaches around see that, because they're like, it's like alarm systems, right? Like, that's like an atomic bomb that's going off. Like, why is nobody picking up that kid when he does something good? How come nobody's going over and saying nice things to that kid when, well, guess why? There's a reason for that. And college coaches see right through that stuff. And kids don't believe that. They don't understand that. You better throw 93. They could care less. If you throw 89 and you're a good teammate, they're going to take him over the 93. Maybe not in a PBR showcase, because you can't see what those other intangibles are yet. But once a coach goes and watches a game, he's like, dude, this kid's a gamer. This kid throws 93, but he gave up one hit, and all of a sudden his 93 just turned into 86 because he's pouting. And like, kids need to hear this more, and they have to know that it's a real thing.
For sure. I like to teach the guys, the difference between reacting and responding, right? You strike out. Reacting is throwing your helmet, kicking the dirt, whatever, blaming the umpire. Responding is, putting your head down, running out to the field, making the next play. Yeah. Right? There's two sides of the game, and there's a huge difference between reacting and responding. What qualities do you look for, when you're scouting players? Like, what do you look for? I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, but let's just kind of dive a little bit deeper in that. Because like what you said, like how they talk to people, like you can tell a lot from a player on how they talk to their parents, right? How they deal with,
yeah. Like, how they throw in warm-ups. Where are they just flicking balls, or are they throwing with a purpose? Are they in good shape? Are they running one pole and all of a sudden they're exhausted? Well, they're not putting enough time in the weight room. I'm not saying you have to be big and huge, and because small guys can win at this game, right? This is a game that, hey, if you got a huge heart, you don't have to be big. You don't have to. There's been many guys that have succeeded in the game of baseball that were smaller and maybe not as big and this and that. But so I definitely look for, guys that are in shape, right? I look for guys that are positive. I look for guys that are communicating and they're talking, and they're, positive vibes are coming out of their mouths. They have positive body language, right? Their shoulders are back. Their chest is up. Like, they're walking like an athlete. They're walking as if when runners are on second and third, dude, I know this guy's getting a hit. He plays the game with confidence, because that means he's a good practice player. That means he trains. That means he's practicing. Right? The guys that are confident are the guys that are putting in the work and doing the things they need to do. So when it's game time, they can just flip the switch and it's on. It's always on. It's not, I have a game now. Wait, I haven't been practicing, but let me just try to, well, how come then you see that kid's like, oh man, wait, why am I pinch hitting? Wait, why do you want, I'm not ready. I'm not. Okay. But you just complain the entire time. And all week you complain that you're not getting at bats, but now I'm giving you an at bat, and you're complaining that you're not ready. Okay, well, maybe that's why you're not getting at bats. Maybe that's not what, so I just think, guys that are prepared, guys that understand the game, they have the baseball IQ, they're in the right spots, they know what they're doing. Those are the things that I'm looking for when I look at a player, to see, is he going to make my team better? Is he going to make the guys around him better? Not just, is he good? Yeah, he has to be good, right? He's got to have some skills, but does he elevate the rest of the team? That is important, because there's guys that have awesome skills, but they bring the team down. Well, that doesn't 100%. Help me. Those guys don't help me when they're not in the lineup, or they got moved from hitting fourth to sixth. Those guys, it's all about them, right? Mm-hmm. So guys that are going to elevate the team and make the team better, those are the guys that I want.
For sure. You can tell a lot from like what kind of player a player is on games when he goes 0 for 4. You can tell what kind of a player he is when he's going 0 for 4, because when he's going 4 for 4, of course he's having a good time. He's loving life, right? He just hit 4 doubles. Of course he's having a good time. But how is he when he goes 0 for 4? Is he picking up his teammates still? Is he still or is he bringing everybody down, like you said? That's a good tell on how they're doing personally, how they're gonna, help the other team, or they're gonna bring them down, right? So that's a huge tell.
And college coaches say that all the time. I go to a game not to see you do well, because I wouldn't be coming to see you if you weren't good, right? I want to see what happens when you implode, when you give up 2 home runs back to back. Do you say, give me the baseball, and you attack the next guy, or do you just fold? If you're hitting and you strike out, are you slinging something? Are you running into what are you doing? Are you walking back out on the field afterwards, or are you sprinting back on the field? Now you're laying out for balls and throwing guys out. Like, that's what they want to see, because the going gets tough way more than things are going good, right? In the game of baseball, we're playing a game of failure. We're going to mess up, 7 out of 10 times. Well, if that's the case, I have to be able to have a good bounce back factor. I have to be able to, so what, next pitch. I have to be able to move on to the next play, or else this game's going to eat me alive. And that's what happens to so many good players. They just get eaten mentally by the game. They just get swallowed up by the fear of failure, instead of knowing, okay, I'm going to fail a bunch of times, but you know what? Like, okay, give me my bat. Let's go. Give me the ball back. Hit me another ground ball. Right. So I think that has to be trained, though. We train that. That's a big part of everything, is teaching kids that failure is okay. What are you learning from it? Not failing and then quitting. You're not failing and then quitting. Well, that's different story. Quitting is something that you will then do for everything that you do in life. You're just going to be a quitter. You're just going to quit things. But if you just fail at something and learn from it, and then okay, I tried it again. Okay, I tried it again. Okay, I tried it. There you go. That's success, right? That's what thrives us in sports. That's why we play sports. You kick my butt, well, I'm going to kick your butt tomorrow. Like, I don't just go, oh, I lost, and I lost to Doug. I can't beat him. I'm not playing. But that's not going to work in any area of life, right? Like,
For sure. Yeah, and there's a huge difference between failing and being a failure, because you're gonna fail, and if you want to be successful, you have to fail. You just got to fail and then learn, and then fail and then learn, and then fail and then learn, and then you succeed. But if you fail and then quit, that's being a failure. That's the true failing. And I think what you said there is, environment is everything. Environment is huge, and confidence, and building that environment of pushing each other, because everything seems impossible until somebody does it, right? So when you fire up the pitching machine to whatever, oh, we can't hit that, and then they keep working, and then they hit it. It's like, oh, we can do this, and then that just builds that confidence in everybody, and that's just a good life lesson.
I'm so big on attitude, effort, and hustle. I say it all the time. Like, I say it to myself all the time. I say it to the players. I say it to my kids. I say it to everybody, right? Because those are the things that you can control, right? Because there's so many other things that are going on out there with social media and stats and just all those other things. You can smoke a line drive and it can get caught. Well, does that mean that you had a bad at bat? No, that means you just got out, right? Like, but you can always control your attitude, how you respond to things that are happening. What's your attitude like? Because that's what can raise the level. That's what can raise your team. That can raise your being a good teammate, having a good attitude, then putting in the effort all the time. Like you said, if you want to be a D1 athlete, well, you have to put in D1 effort in the classroom. You have to put in D1 effort in the weight room. You have to put in D1 effort making sure that you're getting rest and sleep. You have to make sure you're putting your D1 effort in everything you want. You can't just want to be D1, but then put in D3 effort when it comes to school, and D4, like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody wants D1, but they don't want to do what D1 needs to do. So, and then the hustle, I was just always that guy. Like, all my coaches would just be like, man, you're the guy, like, you wanted holding on to the rope if I was hanging off a cliff, like, you're that guy. And I always just hang my hat on those things, because I wasn't the fastest guy. I threw like 82, 83. I could never break a 7-0, but I was strong. I was gritty. I anticipated very well. So I was always in the right spot. People would think I was fast. That's just because I hustled. That's the only reason why. Or, overthrow by the catcher to first base, and there I am backing up second. I catch the ball and I'm ready to. You're like, dude, how do you? Well, it's just like, you need to do some of those things. Your attitude, effort, and hustle has to be at this level when you don't throw 93 and hit balls 110-mile-an-hour exit velos, or run a 6.3. Like, if you don't do those things, the other side has to be that much stronger. And your instincts have to be that much better. So if you can mix those into your player, and they have some of those other skills, dude, that's how you have superstars.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. And I love like how you do one thing is how you do everything. I firmly believe that. So like, work ethic with everything that you do, with your school, with your practice, with your games, with, with your school, like with everything, you gotta, put it all on the table for everything. And I think that's what makes a good player. And I think we gel on this with mindset and attitude and hustle and effort. That's the biggest thing that we preach is like, we have a zero tolerance policy for like negative attitudes, for not hustling, like zero tolerance. Like if you throw your helmet, you're out. Like I don't care how good you are. I don't care if this is the finals of national championship. If you come in here and you throw your helmet, that's just going to bring the whole team down.